When you enter the world of Combat Zone Wrestling, you step into a nightmare, a realm of blood, pain, and madness. Among the many monsters who have prowled the haunted battleground, one man stands as a true icon of hardcore wrestling, Rickey Shane Page. His time in CZW is a tapestry of brutality and chaos, woven together with barbed wire and broken glass.
There's two things that we have in common. Mutual respect, and those three letters above all else, CZW.
His journey through the ultra-violent landscape of CZW is marked by unforgettable matches and rivalries that should only live in the dimension of the imagination, but instead exist in an area which we call From Parts Unknown.
It's MDK, Mr. Hargrave, all motherfucking dead. Parts unknown, motherfuckers. You fuck with them, you fuck with me. You fuck with me, I send someone with a ski mask to their house with a weapon in their motherfucking hand. Leave them alone.
One of the matches that I find myself coming back to time and time again is your debut at Tournament of Death 14 against Danny Havoc. And you talked to me about how you first met him. It goes back like really far though. Your first matches going back is like Christian Faith and IWA in like in 2009, right?
Yes. Yeah. The IWA Deep South was in 2009. I did IWA East Coast, which was Madman Pondo's promotion in West Virginia. And later on worked for IWA Mid South as well. So I was doing a little IWA tour there. And I always loved Danny. I remember being like, who's this skinny white kid with the afro getting beat up at CZW? Like, who is this guy? And then I met him and he was just like, just the most amazing person. Like, he was so smart and like genius level smart, and he was an artist and he cared so much about other people and helping, and like, I just can't, he just did so much for me. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have ever got that spot at CZW. Like, he pushed for it so hard, and I loved all the matches. My favorite one I think we had was probably the first time we wrestled at Cage of Death. We were like the death match that wasn't the Cage of Death. I want to say 2015, maybe 2016. That was my favorite match we ever had. There was just a lot of emotion in it, and he always elevated me when I was in the ring with him, and he made me a better wrestler. And yeah, I miss him so much.
The feud between Rickey Shane Page and Danny Havoc stands as a testament to the lengths two competitors will go to etch each other's names into the annals of hardcore wrestling history. Their encounters were not mere matches, but violent ballets where weapons became instruments of artistry. Two men willing to suffer for their art, with weapons becoming extensions of their rage. The crescendo of this rivalry came in their barbed wire death match in 2015 at CZW Cage of Death 17, where the ring became a nightmarish landscape of torn flesh and shattered dreams.
When I wrestled Danny Havoc at 17, we set up a couple chairs in the ring, and they were unfolded sitting up, and then I flipped some upside down and stuck those seat to seat so the legs were sticking up.
Yeah.
And when I did that, someone in the crowd was like, no. So that to me is like, yes, like that's what I want. I want that hardcore, crazy CZW fan to see me do something and be like, why are you doing? No, stop. Same thing happened at TOD this past week when I dove through the lights. A guy in the crowd started cracking up laughing, and he said, "You're out of your fucking mind." It's stuff like that. Like, if I can make these crazy ass TOD fans who've seen it all and complain about not being enough hot coals,
Yes.
or complaining about the fact that me and Connor Claxton didn't straight up bump on a bed of nails. If I can make someone go, "You're out of your fucking mind," like that's that reaction that I want, and that's what I love, because that's why I try to do death matches differently and come at them with a different, the same way I think Danny Havoc does, just try to be smart about it and do cool stuff that is also super dangerous, you know what I mean? But to get a reaction from people to be like, "Oh man, I've never seen that before," or "Holy shit, you are fucking crazy," and they've seen it all.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way that's me trying to get attention. So yeah, but again, I think that's every wrestler. There's something in all of us that makes us want to be in front of a crowd and get a reaction out of someone. So where that comes from, who knows? We can get real Freudian with it, and it could come from the childhood or the not enough attention from our mother or father or whatever. But I think that's every wrestler.
But it wasn't just Havoc who felt Page's wrath. His battles with Matt Tremont turned into an ongoing saga of pain. These two titans of ultra-violence pushed each other beyond their limits. Their matches were unrelenting, merciless, and unforgettable. Their encounters in the Tournament of Death were absolutely iconic, with each match escalating in violence and storytelling. The first of these encounters being at Tournament of Death 15 in the finals. The ring was surrounded by light tubes and barbed wire, creating a hellish environment. Page emerged victorious and would win a full-time contract with CZW, solidifying his reputation as a fearless competitor willing to walk through fire for glory.
I never thought that I would be, again, CZW was a big deal to me. Tournament of Death was a big deal to me. I followed that all the indies like that, like your Ring of Honors, your CZWs, your Jersey All Pros. Like I was a very big independent wrestling fan. So to be standing on the farm, holding the trophy up after I just won Tournament of Death, being in the ring with, some of the best deathmatch wrestlers in the world, and one of the greatest to ever do it, Matt Tremont, in the finals, surreal, very emotional. The fact that I was even more so like, I finally cemented that roster spot, which was always, something that I was trying to do throughout my matches with Danny Havoc and stuff like that. So it just felt like the first time I was standing on steady ground and I could have a direct path to the title, which was always what I wanted, was to win the CZW title. So every emotion you could think of was going on at that time, you know?
Let everybody know to like and subscribe.
Like, hit one of the buttons.
Yeah, we need it. That's good, I guess.
One of them.
After being the last man standing in the main event of Tangled Web 9, Havoc would choose to face Page at that year's Cage of Death. The encounter at Cage of Death 18 pushed the boundaries of physical and mental endurance. Page and Havoc crafted a narrative of survival and supremacy, leaving the audience in awe of their resilience. At the conclusion of the match, Rickey Shane Page would make a vow to those in attendance that he would become the CZW World Heavyweight Champion.
Thank you for everything you've ever done for me. If it wasn't for you, I would not be here right now. Thank you. One more thing, I'm not done. Hang on. Everything I've ever done in the comments on, I've had to fight for. So I'm gonna make you a promise. I'm making a promise to myself, and I'm making a promise to every single one of you. In 2017, I will be the CZW World Heavyweight Champion.
A torch was passed to you that some would say you're still holding
100.
today. And that was
100%. Like, if it wasn't for him, like, he made me. Like, that night made me. I had to show out, and it was fun. It was just fun. You know, that was what I remember about it too. It was fun. Yeah.
You made a vow to the CZW fans there. What led up to that, and what was going through your mind at that point?
I just regret, I think, you know. I think a lot of it just, like, sometimes I make hasty decisions I'm just a passionate person. And I just felt bad about it, and I needed to make it right. And CZW was so important to me, and so a part of my wrestling career and life, and as a fan too, so that I was just like, I need this to be as good as it can be, and for it to just get the name it deserves and respect that it's earned, the respect that it earned, that CZW's earned. It needs to get back to that.
In Orlando, at Best of the Best, I won this ultimate opportunity jackpot coin.
He's got the opportunity!
So I can have any match, anytime, for any title, any stipulation, whenever I want.
He got all of it. Hold it over.
2 and 3, he did it! I'm trying really hard, guys. Anybody who's anybody in the combat zone has been in the Cage of Death. I'm gonna be in the Cage of Death match, something I've wanted to do since I was 16 years old. In December, no matter who the champion is, whether it's Leo Rush, Joe Gacy, or anyone else, I'm cashing this in right now. I will be in the Cage of Death, at Cage of Death, for the CZW World Heavyweight title, and I will keep that promise I made to you guys and to myself. You have no idea how much this means to me. Like I said before, just stay with me, just roll with me, and we're gonna get it done in December. I promise you, I promise.
In one of Page's most shocking moments, he would capture the CZW World Heavyweight Championship by ambushing Joe Gacy at Night of Infamy. But Rickey is a man of honor and held true to his word that he would main event Cage of Death 19, and he would not only offer to defend against Swerve Strickland, who was originally to have his title shot against Gacy before Page's upset, but he would also extend the offer to the former champion Gacy to make sure there was no doubt who is the rightful CZW World Champion.
You guys are coming into my world.
death matches. Cage of death. I hope you're ready.
After you won the world title, you got it done. You used the chip with the help of Larry Legend. You secure the title. Why keep going? Why defend the belt at Cage of Death 19 in a 3-way match against Gacy and Strickland? Risk it all immediately.
That's what champions do. You got to stay on top. You don't just get to get to the mountaintop and just chill. And there's always somebody coming. And just out of respect to those guys. They were in this giant feud going for the title, and it's like, well, I just can sneak in because I won this scramble. Like, that kind of sucks, So fighting champion and all, like, plus just to go back to, I get to be in Cage of Death. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. I watched Cage of Death. I was supposed to go to a Cage of Death one time. I was like 19. I was supposed to go, but something happened. I had to work or something, and I couldn't go. All my friends drove out to Philly and went to Cage of Death 3, I believe. So just, whatever, anything I can do to get into Cage of Death, I don't care how many people's in there. There's 45 of them in there. I'm the CZW champion and I get to be in Cage of Death. Like, whatever, bro. That sounds awesome.
I love that it played out that way, and I love your answer to that, because that's what really won me over, honestly, as I'm watching it back. I'm like, and then this guy demands to get in Cage of Death with these guys, like, out of honor. Because you're like, I didn't want to take away your Cage of Death moment. I'll still jump in there with you. It's all good.
For sure. And it was awesome. That's one of a very underrated Cage of Death, I think.
Oh, I think it's one of the best. And I want that energy back in CZW today. That's what got me excited when you came back in. I'm like, oh, Ricky's here. This is going to be cool. You never know what he's going to do. It's not necessarily going to make sense, but it's going to be awesome. So
it'll make sense eventually.
Yeah, eventually it'll fall into place for you. It had some real memorable Cages of Death. Cage of Death 19. Nothing weird happened at the end of that one.
No, not at all.
Nothing. But after all that, there was MJF, who had his eyes set on the top prize that was originally going to come to a head at Cage of Death 20 with you versus Maxwell, or I think it was different at that time, but MJF in the cage. Do you still want that match?
Yes. Obviously. He was hurt at the time. So he says,
So you're not buying it either. Cause I'm not, I don't know. I went back and I'm not really buying it.
You never know with him. But yeah, I think that would have been like an insane Cage of Death. But I will say the result of that was me and Mance, and that is one of my favorite matches I've had ever. And a lot of people often come up to me and say that as like top 5 Cage of Death of all time. So that means a lot to me.
I've been telling people on this channel to subscribe, and they won't.
Yes?
What can we do about that? Can you help me out? Maybe if you tell them to subscribe, they'll do
You
it.
threaten them. I'll threaten them
Yeah,
for
if
you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. You don't have to do it till you're cursed.
Ricky would have notable matches against MJF, Joe Gacy, and Mance Warner at Cage of Death 20. The encounters would showcase his ability to blend technical skill with sadistic violence, keeping audiences both terrified and enthralled. Rickey Shane Page's tenure in CZW is a chronicle of violence, resilience, and unyielding spirit. His matches are not just contests, but chapters in a saga that continues to influence and inspire the world of ultra-violent wrestling. Through it all, Rickey Shane Page has proved himself a master of ultra-violence and storytelling. His time in CZW remains a testament to his dedication to the art of wrestling and his willingness to embrace the darkness. With his return at the 26th anniversary, a new chapter in the story of Rickey Shane Page begins. It is unknown what his intentions are, but one thing is clear: his intentions will be violent.